Which is the most overrated food that you dislike? Cotton candy. It just tastes like sugar, which is fine, but the way it instantly dissolves in the residue it leaves just make it seem so pointless to me. Never been a fan even as a kid. Also oysters lol, as someone already said. I've tried them many times and even am willing to try again whenever we go somewhere and I'm offered one, but I have never enjoyed the experience. Also wine, it's so bitter, especially red wine. Don't get the hype. I've had expensive and cheap and I just don't like it. Donuts and marshmallows. Donuts are okay, although I wish the dough part had a less plain flavor, something that complements, yet intensifies the frosting. Marshmallows are just not good at all, to put it lightly. Movies make them look and taste divine. I roasted one near a campfire and it's too sugary. I thought roasting would give it a unique taste, but no. I'm a sweet tooth, but this is way too raw for me. Either way, I don't like tomatoes. I like tomato sauce, paste, ketchup, and various other things made with tomatoes, but for some reason I just hate raw tomatoes. Sometimes I think it's like that cilantro gene thing, because no matter the freshness or type, they always taste a little bit like a dumpster. I would love to get into heirloom tomatoes and enjoy a fresh tomato and mozzarella salad, but it just always tastes bad to me. One day everyone will realize that pumpkin is a terrible flavor. It's only available for 2 months, because if it were around any longer, everyone would say, hey, this fucking sucks. Don't give me that. Well, you can't get pumpkins year-round because we figured it out with orange, lemon, lime or any other number of actual good flavors. That being said, I do love me some pumpkin seeds. To the Australians, Vegemite. Not all of course, just refuse to admit it's disgusting. I often hear things like, you guys are eating it wrong, you need just a tiny amount on toast or whatever. Yeah, a tiny amount so you don't taste how horrible it is lol. I hope this wasn't racist. But they seem to be the majority of people who are defending that nasty stuff. I have never really enjoyed hollandaise sauce. To me it's basically just butter. I'm not a big fan of eggs benedict. I also am not the biggest fan of country gravy. It's just a bit too much for me in terms of grease and thickness. Just not my jam. I actually enjoy mushroom gravy over biscuits more than I enjoy country gravy. Bacon. I can't stand it. The texture is awful. You either have it barely done and soft so it feels like something slimy is in my mouth, or a crispy and hard and adds a burn note to the overall flavor, which I also don't like. Add that to the fact that people put it on everything nowadays. It's truly terrible. Aside from foods like caviar and truffle that are exorbitantly expensive practically for the sake of being expensive, the idea of a food being overrated seems silly to me. I've never even had either of those and I'm not dying to try them. People like different foods, let them enjoy what they want. Chocolate covered strawberries. Strawberries have a bit of sourness, they are cold and juicy. Chocolate is the complete opposite, sweet or bitter or both, warm and not juicy at all. There is just too much going on in chocolate covered strawberries. Too much contrast and no balance at all. Truffle. Every time I eat it I'm doing truffle flavored burps for the next 2 hours. To reiterate, I'm talking about real, Italian truffles, not fake truffle oil. I work in hospitality and I'm often eating in fancy places, in Europe, that use real truffle. I don't like it. Sweet potatoes. Any way you slice them, fry them, mash them, or bake them in a pie, they are gross. I like trying eating cooking a lot of different flavors, so when someone says, is there anything you don't like? I have a quick and unequivocal answer. Punctuation. Sea urchin uni. I tried it while in Japan and it was the most disgusting thing ever. I have never been more disappointed with a food that gets so much praise. It was creamy and sweet for half a second, but then it tasted how a dirty seaweed-ridden beach smells. I don't know if it counts, but alcohol. People are always weird when we're out and I don't order something alcoholic. Why would I want to pay too much money for something that doesn't taste good and will make me feel like shit in the morning? Pizza and bacon. To be clear, I love them both, but somewhere along the line they obtained this cult-like status, like people making it part of their identity. We know they're delicious, but how little do you have going on in your life? Geez. Avocado. I can't stand them and don't understand why they are on everything these days. Also, kale used to be the garnish they used to cover the ice at the Pizza Hut all-you-can-eat salad buffet. No one is supposed to eat that crap. McDonald's. Never liked it. I don't understand the theme. Other fast foods I also avoid. KFC and so on. If I want a sandwich I can make one on my own. If I want dinner, I have taste in home-cooked meals or regular restaurants. Onions. More of an ingredient, but they are put in literally every food on the planet. Disgusting flavor bomb toenail clippings that overpower whatever you're eating. I loathe them and can't get away from them. I don't know if it's really overrated in typical terms, but beef Wellington shows up on recipes thanks to Gordon Ramsay. No offense to our English brothers and sisters, but your flavor palette is bland. Avocados. Sushi, and I've been living in Japan for 17 years. Natto. Sea urchin. Fish eggs. Vegemite. Grapefruit. Squid ink pasta. Anything spicy, mild spice I can do, but it hurts spicy I cannot. Crepes, Britannia style ones. What I dislike most is the cost of it. Where I live, Lowell, Paris, it's incredibly popular, and I was a cook in a creperie tbh, it's not really worth the price and too overrated. Sushi for me. Also, I used to love chicken wings, but now I realize how little meat is actually on them and realize regular chicken is better. Wings are more about the rubs and sauces than the meat. Pizza is disgusting to me. You don't live in the right area. I'm in Chicago. You haven't gone to the place. I've been to several of them with family friends. Both real Italian and American. Salted caramel. Initially was done well, but now anything that had caramel has salt added to make it look like a new product, and it's not really done well enough. Example: Twix salted caramel flavor. Tacos. It's just a bunch of crappy grade meat and yucky veggies thrown together that rapidly cools and congeals. Overly seasoned and then gives me indigestion and burps up all day and night. Nasty. Pasta. Spaghetti. I don't understand the joy of eating a heap of carbs. It doesn't taste good enough to make it worth it. I've seriously never bought pasta for myself in my life. I don't get it. I'm convinced absolutely nobody actually likes foie gras. They're all just pretending because they think it makes them look rich and sophisticated. It's like eating dirty sock flavored Crisco. French fries. Are they even French? Like, WTF, it's potato, one of the tasteless vegetables out there, and you're frying it in oil, and after all that, it still tastes worse than potato chips. The most overrated food for me has to be avocado toast. I mean, it's just mashed up green stuff on bread pretending to be fancy. Give me a good old-fashioned grilled cheese sandwich any day. Poutine. As a Canadian, it's just empty calories and grease. Seriously, no nutritional value, tons of salt. Give a taco any day, or a regular healthy sandwich, even an unhealthy one. Shellfish. I don't get the appeal at all, despite my many attempts to enjoy it. Clams, mussels, and the like are snots and rocks. Lobsters, crabs, etc. are seafaring roaches. I don't dislike, but to me I would never go out of way to get the macaron. And I've had them from good places. X200B. Again, not bad, just nothing special for me. In-N-Out burgers. They're fine, but far from being as great as people think they are. I can only assume those people have never been to a Culver's for butter burger. Burgers. Usually just flavorless, unseasoned hockey pucks of low-quality meat that only tastes like something because of the condiments and processed cheese. Starbucks coffee and all of its flavor variations. Seriously, I'm Puerto Rican, I know good coffee when I smell it, and Starbucks is just burnt yuck, vomiting face. Pizza. I'm prepared to be downvoted to oblivion. I've tried it multiple times and it's alright, but there are many things I'd rather have. Tartare. No thank you. It's a significantly worse tasting version of a product, without any real gain in health benefits or applications. Donuts. I don't like the texture and they're usually way too sweet. Also not a fan of waffles and pancakes, especially with sticky toppings. Tomato, or anything that has tomatoes in general, even ketchup. I can barely eat anything that has tomatoes on it, even if it's my favorite. God, everything from the smell to the taste is just terrible, and I have no idea why anyone would want to eat this by choice. Spaghetti. There are so many better pastas. By the end of the spaghetti bowl I'm just like, alright, enough of this homogeneous mess. Chicago style. Deep dish pizza is a bread bowl filled with acid reflux, and their hot dogs are fucked up warm salads on a sausage. Wine. It tastes so sour to me. Even the sweet wines. I'm convinced it's only something people pretend to enjoy to seem cultured. Prime rib, it's so fatty. It is probably not overrated, I'm sure it's very good, I just can't bring myself to enjoy it. Coffee. Can't stand the taste of it. People who say I can't function without a coffee are daft, because many of us manage it. Lasagna. It looks good, but I'm not a fan of the ricotta, and a long sheet of pasta is a weird texture thing for me somehow. Indian food. It's okay I guess, but it all tastes the same and seems to often have little tiny bones in it. Not my jam. Macaroni and cheese is fucking disgusting. I strongly dislike watermelon. Barbecue, at its very best, is just okay. Brussels sprouts. It give their deep fried in bacon fat and covered in parm. They still taste the way farts smell. McDonald's. Big Mac is okay but their fries are revolting. Been to a couple and it seems to be the same standard. Wine, gin, champagne and sushi or anything with seafood. I am aware it's likely my palate, but I don't like 'em. Fucking brioche buns. Give me a regular bun with my burger, please. These monstrosities are all over the place. Red meat. All of them. Believe it or not, red meat tastes bitter to me for some reason. I love chicken though. S'mores. They are gross at every level, plus I also hate the name s'mores. They should be called barf. Egg Benedict. Overpriced for just a hard-boiled egg with sauce. Most of the time they all taste the same. Any kind of ribs, whether they are beef, pork, barbecue, smoked etc. Not a fan at all and I will not eat them. It's not overrated but for me it's seafood, fish, and mushrooms. All of them because of their texture. Oysters. I don't hate them, but I don't really see the point, and I refuse to pay that much for them. Lasagna. It's the smell. It made me puke when I was a kid and I haven't been able to stand it since. I dislike sushi, but I am not so egotistical to think that my dislike means that it is overrated. Ceviche. I gave it a whirl. It's basically sushi without the cool presentation for 3x the price. Pizza. I live near a pizza mecca of New England. Just don't like tomatoes and melted mozzarella,